So, President, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for inviting us along today. It's very nice to be here again. It's the 13th year of this program. It's been running. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? And this is the group, this group that we're here with today, is the 23rd intake for this program. But before I introduce all the members of the class, I'd like to take some time to thank all the people who have helped on this program as guest tutors, guest lecturers, mentors, members of the Vocational Service Committee, and as advisors about internship placements. So, this one, I think. Okay, so first of all, guest tutors. Sometimes up to 10 or 12 people every Tuesday, which is fantastic. Helen Augar, Sia Hui Ang, Brian Hassel, Christine Hurley, Nick Hurley, Gillian Jones, Janie Picaldi, that's Dennis Picaldi's wife, Peter Lawson, Yuri Mora, Joan Smith, and Tony White, who's Heather Hagen's husband. This is amazing what they do every week for an hour mock interview practice or conversation practice, whatever the theme is for that week. And many of this group have been coming since 2005. People who come along as guest lecturers talking about their own specialties. Helen Argyle about interviews, Reese Barlow about sport in New Zealand. Claudia Gonzalez will be coming in a week or so to talk about recruitment agencies. Peter Lawson about interviews. Brian Lynch talking about New Zealand's political, geographic, economic position in the world. So Anand Satyanand and Lady Susan Satyanand who come along and talk about New Zealand's constitution and, as John said, what it means to be a New Zealander. Chris Garrett from Cullen Law comes to talk about employment law, and Lee Wilkinson comes to talk about the magic three. When you forget what to say, you have three things to say. And the mentors for this current group, thank you very much for the people who have agreed to be a mentor. To Jeff Eves, Michaela Draper, Ray Houston, Dennis Capaldi, Duncan McDonald, Yusuf Mora, Jeff Shaw and Janice Wilson. They are all members of the club. But thank you too, to Derek Gill, who is the mentor coordinator, because several of this current skilled migrant intake have rather more specialised and niche occupations. Derek went outside the club to find some particularly good matches, and these people are Debbie Corney, Lavina Edwin, David Mitchell, David Montgomery, and Rachel Tillman. In fact, Rachel Tillman is a member of the club. Sorry, you're in the wrong column. And so, thank you very much, everybody who's helped to find these mentors beyond the club. So I know you've been very helpful to Derek. And as you can see from the group here, a lot of mentors have been mentors many times in the past. And I want to thank everybody who has been a mentor in the past, because I know that several of you are still in touch with your protégés or your mentees that you were linked with many years ago. Thank you. They provide great support on the job search journey of the skilled migrants. And thank you to the Vocational Service Committee, Andrew Miller, the chair, and Leanna Day, who shared that role for a while. Derek Gill, and mentor coordinator, and Lee Johnson from the Johnson Group, who is the Johnson Group is the organisation that finds the internships. Thank you to especially to Claudia Gonzalez, who and her team at the Johnson Group has found out outstanding internships for this current course. It's a really difficult thing to find an internship. It's a lot of work, and a lot of organisations say no. So thank you very much. It's a cornerstone of this program, so it's very important to have a really good match. But I would like to thank all the people from the club who have helped locate internships and given advice as to where to look. In particular, some of the people have done it many times. Helen Augar, Mark Wheeler, Tracy Brown, Mark Woodard, John Preble, Gillian Jones, Jane McCann, Yuri Mora, Andrew Miller, Joan Smith, for all your help in finding a possible internship. And now I'd like to introduce the members of the class. So first person is Sashini Ranasinghe from Sri Lanka. Sashini is a medical doctor. If you could just stand up, oh, there she is. Sashini at the moment, during the internship period, she's working as a researcher at Heart Hospital. And Pranti Datta from India, who's a specialist in software testing, and her internship is at NSAB. And Svetlana Korotiva from Russia, who has a background in administration, databases, as an accounts assistant, and her internship is at UNICEF. Internships are actually currently underway right at the moment. We've got 2 more weeks left of the course. Anjali Sheth from India, who's a pharmacist and also has a background in quality assurance, and she's doing her internship at Mana Pharmacy in Parramatta, so there's a bit of travel every day. Lakiwani Wilam Masiri from Sri Lanka, who's a specialist in project management and business analyst work, especially in IT, and she's doing her internship at Steel and Shoe in Petone. Homavali Yerapapu from India, who has worked as an assistant accountant and in accounts receivable, payable and payroll, and she also is doing her internship in the finance team at Steel and Shoe. Jocelyn Luzama Salazar from Chile, and she is a graphic designer who is working at the moment with Kathleen Wright here, the guest here today, at Suburban. Lucy Chevanenko from Russia, who is a specialist in document and records management, and she's doing her internship at NEC, or NEC, perhaps you say NEC. Huy Huynh from Vietnam. Huy has a lengthy background in banking in Vietnam and has been a bank manager there for about 12 years. And he is just about to start his internship tomorrow at the Ministry of Transport and their finance team. Xixi Chen from China, who has a background in quality assurance and project management, and at the moment she's 4 weeks into her internship at Signa. Shravani Pelibotla from India, whose background is in HR administration, recruitment and payroll, and is working as an intern at OCG. And, Cynthia Soto from Chile. Her background was human resources and recruitment, and unfortunately she's unwell, so she's not here today. And Anand Neha from India, who has a background in office administration and coordination. Her internship is at HQSC, but she's not here unfortunately today because her grandfather is seriously ill in India and she's flown home. And finally, Priyanka Verma from India. Priyanka is a business analyst, and we'll be hearing a bit more from her shortly. And her internship is at the Cooperative Bank here in Wellington. So just a bit more detail. I just keep updating this every time I come to talk. There are now 240 graduates of this program since 2005, not including this current group. So there will be even more soon, as there's around about 70 to 85% or 70-80% of graduates who are now working from this program. In fact, really that figure is higher. Probably I just haven't had the time to go back and analyse all the stats recently. But for example, last year, the figure is close to 85%. In fact, the group that graduated from the course this time last year, within 2 months, 100% of that class were in their specialist areas. Ongoing funding, good news. We have verbal and email confirmation of continuing funding from our current funder, the settlement unit at MB, but we're waiting for the contract. But that's very good news for us. We can, and for everybody, I think we can relax about that. Before I finish, I just want to mention this interview resource, which John mentioned also briefly, that I have just written to help newcomers face the odd game of a job interview in New Zealand, in any country that's difficult. I've written it from the point of view of a skilled migrant and the issues that they would find difficult in an interview. So many have cultural overtones that most interviewers are actually not even aware of. But I mention it just so that you know, if anybody you know is in this position, you might direct them to there's a textbook as well that I can use in the class, but it's in PDF form and it's downloadable on that website there. But I mentioned it also because I want to say thank you to all the guest tutors and guest lecturers who help on this program, because in 2015 all the guest tutors agreed to participate in a research project that I was running concurrently, where they gave me permission to analyse all the mock interviews that they do with the skilled migrants when they come in every Tuesday. And I analysed what were the difficulties there for the skilled migrants, and also how experienced and empathetic interviewers help a skilled migrant applicant show their best. And those tips about how an experienced interviewer can get the best out of their skilled migrant applicant, I've also fed back to the settlement unit at MB, and they are now included in their list of suggestions and advice for interviewers in New Zealand. So thank you to everybody who participated in that, and thank you to Helen Argar and Peter Lawson, because your interview tips are also in this book here. So I really appreciate that. Of course, when I started this course, I knew nothing about job interviews, but I sort of feel I know quite a lot now. So thank you very much, everyone. I'm very grateful for your help, and the university is, and I know the skilled migrants are very appreciative. This is a partnership that works really well. The outcomes are great, but I couldn't do it on my own. Definitely I couldn't do it on my own. So thank you again. And now I'd like to introduce Priyanka Verma, a member of the current class, who's going to talk to you about the highlights of her career as a business analyst in India, in London, and in Singapore.
When I started to prepare for the talk today, the process got me thinking about the first time that I came across New Zealand, and I remembered that I had researched New Zealand as part of a school project and instantly fell in love with the beautiful landscapes of New Zealand. Soon after, the Lord of the Rings series was released, and this is when I knew I absolutely had to visit New Zealand. Today, I'd like to very briefly take you through my journey to New Zealand and how it came to be my home. I was born and raised in Bangalore, India, and while growing up, I was always intrigued by the beauty and the vastness of the world, and was always interested in meeting new people and learning about different cultures. I completed my education with a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Electronics and Communication, and began my career as a business analyst consultant with Goldman Sachs, providing business solutions for the listed derivatives operations. With a keen passion to learn new concepts and technology, I quickly learned the business processes and was soon given an opportunity to work from a high client volume location in London. So this was like a dream come true for me, as I was always interested in traveling. So it ticked the boxes of travel, career growth, and at the same time, my brother was having his first baby. London being a multicultural city, I had the opportunity to interact with people from different cultures and backgrounds, and also the opportunity to travel through the country and across Europe. I was able to bring the adaptability to work with different cultures back into my workplace to produce quality solutions by collaboratively working with my colleagues. Two people who started their career from the same time, same place, had never met each other, and my husband, who was on the other side of the world, and me in London, we connected with each other, and this is how my journey began here to New Zealand. Pursuing my career and relationship further, I moved to Singapore to work as a business analyst for Credit Suisse and leading a team on an externally funded initiative for Asia Pacific. Through this process, I developed leadership skills. This is where we come to Singapore. In this process, I developed my leadership skills and further to continue my BA abilities. I visited New Zealand during this time, and I completely fell in love with it on a road trip across the west coast of South Island. The joy of being surrounded by water and mountains made me feel at home, and I knew that it was time to make a move to New Zealand. I moved to New Zealand in August 2016, and currently interning at the Cooperative Bank as a business analyst. Through the Skill Migrant program and the support of the Rotary Club, I was able to hit the ground running, and it instilled in me a confirmation that this was the right place for me to be, as the work environment helped me develop personally as well as professionally. I know that no 2 days will be the same with Wellington weather, and I'm sure I will never be disappointed here to have new experiences. Reflecting on my journey to New Zealand, I have come to learn that this was a place I was meant to be, and I'm looking forward to my life here.